So one of the big debates that we've been having with this current generation of consoles is of course the price of the video games themselves. Many people got settled into the $60 price point for video games, but with this new console generation, Sony decided that PlayStation 5 games needed to be $70 due to things like development costs rising, bigger production teams, and it was met with some resistance at first. I do still feel that $70 for some of these games, The Last of Us Part 1, I'm looking at you, is a bit ridiculous, but other games I can understand the $70 price point. I can get behind it because it really boils down to whether or not you want to play this game on day one, or you want to wait sale or do some trade-ins or buy a used copy or something like Sony's $70 price point. Other companies were quick to follow the charge. Third-party companies quickly jumped on this bandwagon, solidifying their loyalty to Sony with these $70 price point games that have been infiltrating all sorts of systems since the announcement of these $70 games. Of course, Xbox, they haven't raised their first-party titles to $70 quite yet, but in a recent interview with Phil Spencer, they did say due to things rising within the world and inflation and this, that, or the other, they would have to be looking at potentially raising the cost of some things within the Xbox gaming sphere. Boils down to two things that I feel like they can do without much backlash. I don't think it's going to be a hardware related thing. I think you raise the price of the software to $70 to get in line with what Sony's doing, and potentially raise the price of Game Pass because it really is a great value, especially when you look at all these games in 2023. But Nintendo has kind of been the outlier in this whole situation. Obviously, Nintendo doesn't have all the bells and whistles of an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5.
I've got all the flavors wrapped in pretty paper. Yum, yum, yum. Give me some, give me some. Yum, yum, yum.
I trim my chest hair into the shape of small animals. It's a squirrel.
Ooh, you don't need to get that personal to get the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It just helps you create an affordable price. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
So handheld gaming has had quite a resurgence in 2022, thanks in part primarily to two systems. I would say the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck. I've been talking about the Nintendo Switch for years. I've recently got the Steam Deck more because I finally got one. Two great platforms, two platforms that really complement each other. I don't put them in against a war with each other because I think they do very, very different things. And what they do focus on, they do it very. So one of the generation of consoles is of course the video games themselves. Many people got settled into the $60 price point for video games, but with this new console generation, Sony decided that PlayStation 5 games needed to be $70 due to things like development costs rising, bigger production teams, and it was met with some resistance at first. I do still feel that $70 for some of these games, The Last of Us Part 1, I'm looking at you, is a bit ridiculous, but other games I can understand the $70 price point. I can get behind it because it really boils down to whether or not you want to play this game on day one or you or do some trade-ins or buy a used copy. Or of course, with Sony seeing success with this $70 price point, other companies were quick to follow the charge. Third-party companies quickly jumped on this bandwagon, solidifying their loyalty to Sony with these $70 price point games that have been infiltrating all sorts of systems since the announcement of these $70 games. Of course, Xbox, they haven't raised their first-party titles to $70 quite yet, but in a recent interview with Phil Spencer, they did say due to things rising within the world and inflation and this, that, or the other, they would have to be looking at potentially raising the cost of some things within sphere. And really, it boils down to two things that I feel like they can do without much backlash. I don't think it's going to be a hardware related thing. I think you raise the price of the software to $70 to get in line with what Sony's doing, and potentially raise the price of Game Pass because it really is a great value, especially when you look at all these games that are potentially coming out in 2023. But Nintendo has kind of been the outlier in this whole situation. Obviously, Nintendo doesn't have all the bells and whistles of an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 when it comes to visuals within their games, so people feel like production on that. A couple months ago that if Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess was indeed going to be a double pack for the Switch in 2022, that hey, that would be a decent way for Nintendo to try out the $70 price point because you're getting two games there. I think people would rather pay $70 for those games than $60 a piece for those games. But of course, I mean, that never happened. There was no dual pack of the Zeldas. There was no Metroid Prime remake. Jeff Grubb, better get to shaving there, buddy, because it's not happening this year. But I thought it was an interesting topic nonetheless. Of course, we have seen one $70 game on a Nintendo Switch platform with the newest of Elder Scrolls Switch with all the additional content in it. But Nintendo themselves haven't really commented on the price of games until now. You might have heard of this guy before called Sakurai. He's kind of an important person in the world of Nintendo. You know, that Smash Brothers game that you like where you're always saying, where's my character? Where's my character? Well, a little guy named Sakurai is all of that. Sakurai, of course, has a YouTube channel which has already surpassed mine in terms of subscribers. I'm not salty. He deserves it. He actually makes video games. I just sit here in a comfy chair and talk about them. But Sakurai's YouTube channel has had a plethora of information and kind of his viewpoints on things within the video game industry. Now, because he is a Nintendo contracted employee and really someone that he says something, I feel like there's a little bit more to it. There's a little bit more substance than just some random Joe Schmo saying it because, I mean, this man works with Nintendo on a regular basis. Well, Sakurai recently released a video talking about the price of video games and how that whole sort of thing works. He, of course, alludes to the fact that a game like Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64 released at $60 and Breath of the Wild released at $60 for a large time gap between those two games, different levels of inflation. I mean, you go back to the timeline of Ocarina of Time, your dollar goes a lot further than it goes now. So he kind of questions in this video why video games as a standard haven't really gone up in price. He compares it to other forms of entertainment, of course, subscription services, going out for a night with your friends. And I mean, the basis of this video was that everything has pretty much gone up in price, you know, with inflation, with the devalued dollar bill and stuff like that. Everything is pretty much raised in price, but video games have been a pretty consistent thing throughout. And he almost feels like the games are too cheap based on the amount of content you get. I do have some things I want to say about that, because I do feel like Nintendo and every video game company, just not just Nintendo, it's just easier to talk about them with this because of the fact that Sakurai was talking about this. I feel like every video game company wants to raise the price of everything. I mean, let's be realistic here. This is a business. What is the point of a business? The point of a business is to provide a product somebody needs or somebody money and capitalize on that as you can. It's good to be profitable. You have shareholders. You have people that are putting their investment dollars into your company, hoping for a positive return. And by business booming, you kind of get that positive return going. So when you look at the whole N64 to Switch comparison, you know, video games used to be more expensive at times. You know, $70 video games were actually pretty common. When you look at something like the N64 in the PlayStation 1 era, PlayStation 1 games cost less than Nintendo 64 games did. Now, why is that? Were the PlayStation games more quality? No, it really boiled down to development or production costs on the actual physical media, because you didn't have all these online infrastructures where you could buy stuff and, you know, buy things digitally. When Nintendo was producing these cartridges more money than it did to go with a disc-based technology. Discs were already super cheap back then, and so that's why you saw certain video games be more expensive than other video games, even though they came out on the same console. Because of the actual cost to produce them, you had to produce the chips inside of the actual cartridge shell itself in order to make these games run and work on the appropriate system. So it was done out of necessity back then. And I feel like a lot of people feel that the $70 price point is kind of done more so out of greed in this price point. But I think Sakurai does good, you know, analysis. Obviously, I have to give him credit. He understands with the rising costs of everything in the world, not even necessarily the rising cost of development of these video games, like at some point in time something has to give. I feel like we're getting to a point within the video game industry where productions are so high and you have to sell so many copies of games that if you don't meet that mark, companies will go under within a second. So what's the actual realistic situation that you could do with this. Maybe Nintendo's been right about this the whole time. I can't imagine that most Nintendo related games production costs of these other games that are available on other platforms. You know, when you look at something like a big AAA PlayStation 5 game that has a huge story, hours and hours of dialogue, all these realistic motion captured people, and then you compare it to something like Animal Crossing, which obviously has a bigger budget, which obviously has a bigger goal that they need to meet in order to make these games profitable. You know, I would say a game like Animal Crossing, of course, sold over 30 million. So with video games where, you know,
imagine a fire starts.
Hey there, guys. So I am currently just incredibly stressed because honestly, Call of Duty is actually good again. This is just gotta be one of the most shocking developments of 2022 because the last couple years, every COD has been trash. They've had bad balancing, boring maps, very skewed, different styles of weaponry, but now we have. I decided to stay up all night last night playing Stop Mod. Modern Warfare 2 to really test out all the different aspects of it. The new game modes, the third person. options, and, well, just the tons and tons of guns that I managed to unlock. And I have to say, it's really good. It's got quick time to kill. It's got really explosive visuals. I mean, this is a style of COD, but only because it's actually decent. It's the COD you know, with a little bit of tweaks that make it surprisingly fun. Let's talk about that. What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. Favor, like it if you haven't already. I'll make you guys a deal. If this video hits 3,000 likes, I'll give away a copy of Modern Warfare 2 on whatever console you want over in my Twitter account. Now, first and foremost, always I have to put the gigantic warning, this is an always online experience. You know that, right? This is online multiplayer. So if in the future you stumble upon this video and they've ruined it with update patches or turned all the guns into freaking balloon animals because of clowns, I don't know, that's not on me. We're talking about the game as it currently exists on day one. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's campaign definitely impressed me when I played through that. But this multiplayer, even with lowered expectations, I kind of expected it to not be great. Let's start things off by talking about the guns themselves, because this is definitely the most important aspect of any online shooter, is making sure that whenever you pull that digital trigger, it feels great. There is a very, very, very tight aim, a tight speed. There's a very tight sense of impact with all of your bullets. I tested out a bunch of the different weapons, from shotguns to sniper rifles, big maps, small maps. Everything feels very, very, very well balanced, but towards the experience. There's a lot of different maps inside this game. In fact, I think this may have the most maps I've ever seen day one on any Call of Duty. But when it comes to the build out, the smaller maps definitely feel better. Let's talk about Ground War real quick. This is a 64-person mode. And honestly, it does not feel great, because this game is more tailored, in my opinion, to the 5v5 or 6v. Six combat, putting 64 players
Whenever I got anxious, I would hit my vape.
I thought vaping gave me peace of mind, but it really didn't.
It was a fake form of confidence. I was nervous all the time.
Vaping made my anxiety worse.
What is up, guys? Zach Scott here, playing Mario Kart Tour. We only have 4 cups left and only couple of hours left until we can finish up this tour and then start the next next video. So let's do this. Yoshi Cup, start us off. RMX Choco Island 1T. Let's just be whoever we want to be, right? Sounds good to me. And I know that Yoshi's looking pretty good because he's level 6, and but Daisy's level. So let's be Daisy here. We can use the hearts. Oh, we gotta pick one of the apple cards. Sure enough. And then let's do level 5 here. Let's not mess around too much. And let's get through this. I know I got to get first place on Rainbow Road. I know I got to take a look at some multiplayer today. More importantly, I need to do not just multiplayer, but ranked mode. And try to get in the top 3 if I can. It's not super important to me, but I want to give it a good examination. Man, that bomb hit me. I want to give it a good enough examination to see if it's viable, easy enough for me to place. This doesn't make any sense. All right, come on. Come on, let's do this. Lightning. Thank you. Holy cow. Holy goodness. Did you see that? All right, let's finish this. Lap with first place. How about that? That lightning is exactly what I needed. All right. All right. I'm still waiting for someone to, take it out on me. But so far, so good. Well, there we go. A first place finish. But it didn't seem like I was going to get that at first, did it? So, let's continue and see what we got going on for us. 15,000 is a great score. I'll take it. Next up. Koopa Troopa Beach R/T. We could be another Daisy. We could be Fairy Daisy again. But let's do a little bit better. Let's level 5 guy. How about that? Level 5. Level 4. Level 4. Let's see what we got. Red Koopa riding Red Yoshi. ready to rock and roll. We don't have much time. Perfecto. Perfecto. Okay, there we go, there we go. Hold up. Whoa, bounce off the dinosaur. I didn't know that was a thing. What the heck? And also, it seemed to accost me, because what the heck? I'm in 3rd place now. All right, let's see what's up. I don't think this is going anywhere, but still. I'm trying to hit people. I don't think any of those fireballs hit. What a waste. All right. Oh, you dork. All right. What happened here? Holy cow. How am I in 6th place? This is ridiculous. I guess it's just not the way to go. Those bombs went nowhere, that's okay. Well, actually they hit people, and I got 2nd. The bombs did go somewhere, and they hit that, and I got 2nd. All right, well, okay. Let's just keep on going. That was great. Surprise performance there at the end. Waluigi Pinball R. And, you know, I really do want to bring in Donkey Kong, but let's bring in Waluigi. We can bring in this level 4. How about that? How about that? Variety to the game. All right. Let's do what we got to do. What the heck happened? Okay, 6th place, no thanks. 7th place. Get me out of there, please. I'm gonna try to, oh! What a terrible thing. I'm in 8th place. Come on. Let's see if I can get another play like I did last time. All right, yes. Ah, come on. Come on. 8th place again, consistently 8th right now. I don't know what the deal is. Excuse me. What? Birchwood, you can't copy me like that. And going bullet through there does not help anything. All right, 5th place, sure. Come on, we can do better, we can do better. Oh my God, that hit somebody, not me. All right. I'm just trying to hit, I'm in 1st. Everyone get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. No, we got 1 banana as protection. Oh, jeez. Okay, come on now. All right, let's see what's up. Ooh, shrunk across the finish line. 1st place, though. Some interesting races this time around. Been enjoying these for sure. Let's see what we got. 13. And then steer clear of obstacles. Don't crash. See with Lemmy here. Oh wait, the penguins are moving around? Are you kidding me? You're gonna be joking, kidding me. Penguins now? I don't think, have there ever been penguins before? This game? Am I just imagining this? Holy cow. All right, excuse me, penguins. How many laps do I gotta go? Excuse me. Oh my God. Okay, not too many laps. Excuse me. No, dang it, you penguin. Gosh, dang it. I hit one at the end. But this is such a short level that it's okay. So we got only 2 stars. We gotta get that third. All right, here we go again. Let's give it another shot. All right, don't crash. I know. Avoid the penguins. There been penguins? All right. Anyway, let's just ignore this. All right, I'm gonna go long, maybe. Some risk here going long. What would that risk be? The risk that I just win? Okay, there we go. Victory. So, we got 3 more cups left. We also got to, here. Next up, we got Dry Bones Cup, Toad Circuit. I've never been Black Yoshi before. He's only level 1 though. Let's be Toad. He's level 6. He knows what's up. Let's be Toad. Another level 6 cart, level 6